All right, cool guys. Okay, so hopefully you guys went over all of that beginner stuff, or you're at an intermediate type level, because now we're going to start to get a little bit conceptual. Of course, we're going to switch our stance a lot, because I know that that's one thing that I, have been really good at for a really long time. I actually got really good at it because I dislocated my left arm like a really, really long time ago training. Dislocated it, but elbow injuries aren't the worst in the world, so I was kind of still able to train through it. But of course, because I was a righty, I couldn't really use my left hand anymore, so I started using my right hand a lot and then just leaving this one covered. And I found that being a lefty was a lot easier to only use my right hand. So I've been on this for like quite a bit of time now. I feel super equipped in being able to help you guys understand why you want to switch your stance, how to switch your stance, and how to do it really efficiently. But in this course, in the intermediate piece, nothing too much is going to change as far as our footwork steps. We're just going to change how we do our footwork and make it so that we're switching our feet and how all of that works, okay? So it's going to be technical. It's going to be a little bit conceptual mixed in with why you're going to switch your feet, why you're not going to switch your feet, when to do it, when not to do it. And then at the end, some drills that you'll be able to do with your partner so that you can kind of wrap your head around this idea of space and advantages with angles outside of just the beginner portion, which is almost fully your position and how to stay in position, which is like the shooting of the gun. But now we're going to start to learn how to clear rooms and do more cool shit now that we know how to shoot a gun. Okay, so Robin, can I use you real quick? All right, so let's talk about switching our feet just a little bit so that we can kind of understand this on a wider base and why it works and why some people do it really dumb and then other people do it really smart. But if me and Robin are fighting each other, okay? If you've watched the other course videos, you know that I talk about this a lot. When you're fighting someone, the direction of their body is important in the way that you're going to attack, okay? It's just flat out like non-negotiable, it matters, okay? When I'm hitting Robin, hitting the shit out of Robin, which is what we like to do. When I'm hitting Robin, I want to hit Robin as if I'm trying to hit him on his square or his flat side. We're built like 2x4s as people, or most of us are. Some of us are built like blocks, but I'm not built like a block. Where this is my 4-inch side and this is my 2-inch side. Or if you want to understand it a little bit more, maybe a little bit better in the case of like a kickboxing term, when you're holding a focus mitt, if I'm pretending that Robin is this big giant focus mitt, and when I'm hitting a focus mitt, if you just hold your hand out, when I'm hitting a focus mitt, I want to hit it on its flat, because then all of my energy is digging through the thing that I'm trying to hit, which is a good thing. Like, it hurts to get hit in the body and in the head when it's going through all of your pieces instead of like skimping by. There's totally, times where like skimping body shots really hurt, or skimping chin shots really hurt. But I would argue that those are still flat, like really hard punches that dig through. You're just digging through at a different angle when you're hitting those things. So you're not digging through it, you're more like turning it, but to not get too nuanced. Robin is a giant focus mitt, okay? When I hit the giant focus mitt, I want to hit it really flat. Okay, so when me and Robin are in a closed stance or in the same stance and we're fighting, a lot of the things that I'm trying to throw are going to be on this flat side, okay? That's really important. Same thing with his head, because his head typically, while it's pointed at me, it typically follows the rest of his body too. Like, people don't stand like this as much as they really should. Like, even here, I'm still a little bit turned. So while it's like super tiny, it still matters a little bit, okay? So it matters in the attacks that I want to try to hit Robin with, okay? And of course, here on the outside of his low kick, because his left leg is forward, I kick on the outside of his low kick here. If we're open stance, this is my inside, this is my outside, and that really matters, okay? Also, what matters is the way that Robin can move and defend himself is different depending on which direction I decide to go. So if I go to attack Robin on my left side and I go to attack him here, I'm going towards the front of his body. And us as humans, we're really good at defending the fronts of our body. We're not as good at defending as the backside of our bodies. So when I'm trying to get a good angle or get Robin out of position, a lot of what I'm going to try to do is going to be towards his lead leg, because that's towards his rear side, okay? That also makes it really awkward for Robin to try to square up with me when I go this direction. Go ahead, square up to me. A little bit more awkward than if I step left in the front of his body and he's able to see me the whole time. It's a really tiny movement when Robin goes this way, really tiny. When he goes the other way, I almost have to step both my feet, which again uproots me from the floor. I can't punch super efficiently and super on like a trigger's point when I'm uprooted like that, okay? So when you're fighting, same stance. Those are the things that I'm looking for, is trying to get Robin to uplift himself from the floor and try to square up with me, which is a lot harder going towards this side, okay? When I hit Robin, I want to try to hit Robin on his flat side, which is going to mean a lot of this sided punch, okay? When I'm in my open stance and we're here, now the things that I'm going to throw that would hit Robin on his open side are going to be my heavier things because they're on the back side of me, okay? Which means I just have more rotation that I can give, which matters a lot. So when me and Robin are fighting each other, now if I were to try to kick him in his front, it'd have to be with my lead, okay? Which I can't turn as much hip over or rotate in as much as if I'm in my open stance. I can open up my hip and like really drive into Robin and use like this backside to hit him on his flat side, which just makes my powerful side the more efficient and better one at hitting him in the places that he doesn't want to be hit in or how he wants to be hit, okay? Also, I'm taking steps that are a little bit easier. Steps and pivots are a lot less uprooted than side steps because I'm really connected to the floor almost the whole time when I step and pivot, which means I'm capable of attacking his lead side or his back side a lot easier, okay? That makes sense? Yeah, that made sense. Okay, so we're in a stance. That's why switching stances is important, okay? I can make it so that my hard things hit his flat side. I can make it so that I can attack easier towards his rear side. And as long as I have like a concept and an understanding of how to do that offensively, I can reverse engineer this thing and make it work so that defensively I know if me and Robin are in our open stance that this is the side of his body that's really going to starch me if it does. And I need to potentially stay away from that or bait him to throw it so that I can start to move myself and do all of that stuff, okay? So that's really important in just understanding why you would switch to an open stance and not an open stance, okay? The last point that I'm gonna make, I know that if you guys watch the videos, you guys have probably heard me say this too. Striking is just a video game happening with your eyes, okay? There's no me and Robin pulling each other, pushing each other, where we can do it with our eyes closed. If you try to wrestle with your eyes closed, you can maybe get away with that. You definitely can't strike with your eyes closed because there's no way to tell what's happening outside of just your eyes. So pretend that you're playing Dance Dance Revolution. You like Dance Dance, don't you?
I was a boss at it.
Oh yeah, Robin was actually, that's kind of funny. Okay, pretend that you're playing Dance Dance Revolution and all of the arrows are coming up at you, okay? And it's a set number of arrows. It's like 4 arrows, right?
I think the kids nowadays play Beat Saber, but it's the same concept.
Whatever, Beat Saber, Dance Dance Revolution, whatever. Okay, pretend that there's 4 arrows and I know the response for these 4 arrows, okay? Now pretend I flip this and now there's 6 or 8 arrows. Imagine how much more difficult that's going to make the video game. It's going to be like exponentially hard, okay? Because our brains can only do so many things at one time. So opening our stance and being able to switch makes it so that Robin has to make reads with his eyes that are exponentially harder because our brains can only handle so much information at one time. So switching your stance is important in overwhelming the processor of your opponent, okay? That's a conceptual understanding of why, how, and when to switch your stance, okay? Now let's talk about the technical pieces that are gonna get us there, right? So the first one, when me and Robin are fighting each other, when I go to shake step, and all a shake step is, guys, is it's pretty much, I don't have a good analogy for this, but my shake step is almost like in this rocking in our stance motion that we did in the beginner piece, I'm gonna rock, and instead of taking 2 steps off to the side, I'm going to shift and then have this foot come forward, okay? Keep in mind, of course, this idea of you wanna have your body pointed at the thing that you wanna punch the shit out of. So if me and Robin are fighting and I shake step here, boom, and I do it tiny, I'm not facing what I wanna hit. When I shake step, same thing as when we did our beginner techniques to our right and I adjust, it's the same thing when I go to my left, okay? I have my power pointed at Robin so I can hit him, okay? Again, we're fighting, I wanna shake step, and you can only shake step towards the side that or you have to switch your stance when you shake step. If you don't, it's just a side step pretty much. But I shake step, I take this left foot out, it goes to where I'm almost square, and then my right foot comes in, okay? But that's kind of like a good rule of thumb. That's not really how it actually works. If me and Robin were fighting and I wanted a bigger angle, I would step here forward and then go here, okay? Or I would step left a little bit more out and then step more in. If I want to shake myself backwards, I'm almost going in this direction and then facing Robin. So the amount of step that you take with this lead leg as you shake step only matters in how close you want to get. If I want to stay far away, I just stay further away, but I have to still keep my power at Robin. If I want to get closer, I shake step myself closer, and I'm more okay with that. Probably better, you know, as a fighting style for you short kings versus us like tall, lanky, weak guys, okay? So our shake step. We're here in our stance. I just want to throw our 1-2 afterwards. We're here. I like this little rock in our feet. I push off, boom. I come back here. I'm in my stance. I'm going to throw my jab cross for my lefty stance, okay? I'm going to stay lefty. I'm here. I push off. Same idea here. I plant. I throw my 1-2 in my righty stance. Moving. I have this rock, shake, boom. I don't hit the ceiling as I go to step or punch. Hit my 1-2. Move around, shake, boom, boom, move around, shake, left, right, move around, shake, left, right, hit my 1-2. I said that wrong the one time, but you get it, okay? That's our shake step. Our other step that we're gonna do is our step and pivot, okay? So we're in a stance. I have to do this towards Robin's, or I guess not towards his lead leg, but I have to do it with an intentional step of my back foot. Okay? It's the same thing as when I step to my left and pivot here. It's the exact same thing, except I'm stepping my foot all the way forward, still half committing this, not giant committing because I'll get kicked or hooked. And then I swing here. I'm in my lefty stance, and I did the almost exact same step as when you step and swing. From here, same idea. I want to go in jab cross. I'm here in my stance, now I'm in my lefty stance. I start a little bit further away. I step, my head stays a little bit outside of the shoulder. It doesn't commit, like I said, so hard like this, but I do want to pay attention to this side. I step, I swing, boom, I hit my 1-2. I'm in this stance, same idea. When I step this foot, I stay low. Don't do this. Like I said, when you're on one foot, you have to be like super, you know, like spidey senses going. I can't do this. I have to stay low. Boom. I stay on the outside of his shoulder. Rotate myself. My power is at Robin. And I hit my 1-2. We're moving again. Same idea here. Boom. I kind of stay to the outside even before I go. I don't want to like go from this shoulder, cross all the way in front of him, maybe potentially get hit with something. I want to do it at like a range where Robin really can't hit me too significantly, at least without moving. So when I step, I'm staying on the outside. I swing, I throw my 1-2. I circle him a little bit. Same thing here. Step, swing, 1-2. If I want a really big angle, I'm stepping way deep, swinging way big, and throwing my 1-2. If I want a little bit of a tinier angle, I step, I pivot, I stay a little bit further away, and I throw my 1-2, okay? So To wrap your head around this a little bit easier with our shake steps and our swing steps, nothing too much is changing from the, like the format of the actual footwork that we're doing. In the beginning piece or the beginner section, it's a step and a swing, or a side step and a correction with my hips so that I'm facing him. When we're talking switching stances, it's kind of the same thing, but a little bit in reverse. Now, instead of stepping and swinging to my left, I'm shake stepping or like side stepping because it's almost the same thing. I'm just switching my feet as I do it and then throwing my punches, okay? Or I'm stepping and doing a swing step, but it's on the opposite side because I decided to switch my stance and I throw my 1-2. So if you want to categorize them in your head, the format of all of the footwork isn't really that crazy. Like I said, it's just a matter of like when you do it, how you do it. If you're going to swing step and then build a side step onto it, side step, then swing step again, that's when footwork starts to really, really get pretty dynamic. So what I mean real quick of an example of that, and we're going to get into drills in a second, but just so that I don't overlook that real quick. When I'm talking about getting angles, I could step and swing, shake step, step and swing, step and swing, step and swing, shake step, step and swing. It's all happening more or less with these 4 types of footwork. But if I do them at the right time and in the right scenarios, I should be able to like really make that super hard for Robin to try to process. All right, so the next 2 things that we're gonna work on are our shifts forward and our shifts backwards, okay? You're gonna use these when your opponent or your partner or whoever you don't like that you're fighting breaks their own position. So me and Robin are fighting. When I see Robin do this, or I see him go onto like one leg or just be in shit position in general. Again, I'm doing that with my eyes, okay? Sometimes your eyes will lie to you, but for the most part, if they're like this, they're not super capable of being able to hit you, okay? So in the beginner piece, when Robin does that, I mechanically march him down with my 1-1-2 here, okay? Now we're gonna shift because not all the time, especially in MMA, because the space that you have to travel to get to the person is typically much larger than when you're in a boxing fight or a Muay Thai fight, because again, that whole idea of rule sets. But when Robin takes off backwards and it's a lot of space and I try to do these mechanical steps, sometimes I can just be too slow, okay? So when Robin goes to step backwards, I'm gonna shift at him, and I only use this when Robin like really takes off backwards, so like really take off. I shift at him, and then I'm doing the same thing, jab, jab, cross, but I've covered so much space doing this and then going to attack him, which is really good and obviously better for me. Okay, so that's our shift forward. I see Robin back up. I can march him down with my stationary beginner mechanical 1-1-2, or he takes off, I shift, and then I chase him down with my, my mechanics, but a big shift to cover all of that space and then throw our 1-1-2. This is really, really important in MMA because like I said, that gap that you have to cover can feel like miles when you're in fighting. Not so much for me because I'm kind of tall and long, but I know for a lot of you guys, like that could be a really tough gap. And some of these fuckers are really fast too. So being able to shift your feet and not just mechanically move or gallop, and being able to like shift and cover a whole amount of space is gonna be, you know, big time to your advantage. All right, so our last step that we're gonna do is our back shift, okay? Very similar idea here as our forward shift is I'm using this when I need to, you know, create a lot of distance or close a lot of distance. When I'm doing it forward, of course, I'm closing a lot of distance, shifting my feet forward. When I'm going backwards, I need a lot more space to move myself backwards. The way that we're gonna shift though so that you don't feel unathletic and wonky is when I'm here like this, I have to have big push onto this left foot, but I have to shove it into my right foot, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm making it so that I can be athletic kind of almost at all times. So if I just shift and I don't put like a carving motion into my right leg, I'm just kind of balancing myself and then landing again, okay? One, that's gonna be slow, and two, that just doesn't like, it just is the same thing almost as this L step where I'm on one foot, boom, not able to do anything. So if I do get hit, there's like, I just better have my hands up and cover. When I back shift, I shove myself into this leg and I carve myself into it, okay? That's gonna be really hard to do if you're in a bladed stance, okay? It's really hard for me to like carve right when I'm in a bladed stance. It just doesn't make much sense. When I'm moving backwards and I'm a little bit more in this hybrid stance, I can shove myself into the floor, which makes me a lot more athletic and a lot more just quicker on the reaction, and I'm not gonna be left on this left foot or right foot as long, okay? So when I shift, it's not here, it's carve, carve. A lot more athletic aesthetically too. So when Robin decides he's gonna attack, or I see that he wants to attack, or I'm up so much on points and I know that he has to start scoring, I'm gonna shove myself into my right side, shove myself into my left side, and then same idea here, we'll just 1-2, okay? Here, I shove myself into the floor, shove myself back, throw my 1-2, and hit him. Boom, bang, bang, 1-2. And I've created a lot of distance, boom, being here like this. And I can kind of like walk him into traps and all of that stuff. All right, actually I lied. So here's our last thing, because these are awesome and really badass. And if you can get good at this, like you'll be really, really hard to find offensively when people are trying to attack you, okay? So we're gonna do back shifts, but we're gonna do them with a pop first or a pop afterwards. Sometimes in fighting, you need more space than just the one step, okay? Or just the one pop in the beginner section, okay? Sometimes you have to create space with the both of them. So when Robin goes to attack me, I'm gonna pop my feet, boom, I've set my weight here. He's gonna continue to attack me. I still need more space. Now I drop my foot, I've carved myself, I popped, and then I back shifted, and now I could throw my 1-2 good for when you need a little bit extra space, okay? I love these, like these are awesome. Like like I said, I can't harp enough. If you get good at this, you will be extremely challenging to hit, especially if you could do it in like 3 takes too, where maybe it's like a pop, a shift, and then another pop or something. But those like 2 moves, moving backwards, are gonna be super beneficial if you can make it really dynamic, okay? So I pop first, boom, I shift back, and then I throw my 1-2. Or I can shift back, boom, then pop if I need some more space, and then throw my 1-2. But investing some time in getting good at that is well worth your time, okay? Not everything is, like a lot of this stuff in this course, of course, will, because I try to just skip all the gibberish and just give you guys like what actually works against a really high level type of opponent, okay? A lot of the problem that I see with a decent amount of coaching in martial arts in general is that a lot of those people that are coaching it never had to go against the best guys from literally all over the entire world. I have to go against the best guys in the entire world. So the things that I feel like I just X out and I cut out, I don't care about things that are gonna work on beginners, intermediate, and even advanced people. I care about things that are gonna work against like the best 10 guys at 135 pounds in the world. So when I tell you to invest in something, please invest the time, okay? But again, just so you can see it again, pop, shift, 1-2, okay? Or shift, pop, 1-2 if I need a little bit extra space, okay? Let's go over our drills now for our intermediate folks. It's pretty much just 2 of them. They address space and they address our advantages. The first one's super easy, kind of, but you know, I wish that I could be on the other side of the camera and actually like walk you guys through it, but I'll do my best over the camera, which is kind of hard for this drill. But the first one is our space drill, okay? Me and Robin are partners. The drill looks like this. Robin's just giving me forward pressure, backwards pressure, and angling pressure, and I'm just trying to stay right outside of jab range, okay? To where if I want to hit Robin or he wants to hit me, we both need to take a step in it's worth getting good at this at a range where you guys can't hit each other, but you guys are just one step away from hitting each other. That's what makes it so that I could pressure the shit out of people, is because I can be like right outside that range, and it makes you really uncomfortable because I'm not 2 steps or 2 moves away. I'm like 1 step away from being able to hit you, which is like just
Relax.
yeah, you can't relax it. Like I said, it overwhelms the brain a lot. There's a ton of advantages to it in kicking ass, okay? So Robin's just gonna give forward pressure, backwards, left, right, and I'm gonna just try to maintain this type of space. Go ahead, boom, I'm here. Let's try to stay inside the cameras. Boom, I'm staying here. I don't wanna rotate in this drill, so I don't want, if Robin goes over here, I don't wanna step like this. We're gonna stay to where I stare at that wall and he stares at this wall, and he's moving, and I wanna get really good at changing the direction and staying that close to him the entire time. If you want to shift and do some steps with it, that's cool too. Boom. But I'm trying to maintain that right outside jab range so that I can get really good at just being really comfortable in that range. Switch your feet, do whatever you want, okay? That's our space drill. The second one is gonna be our angle drill. So now, instead of staring at one wall, we're gonna move in 360 degrees. So Robin's gonna give me pressure, and instead of me trying to maintain space, I'm gonna try to get around him with my steps. So when Robin's putting pressure, I can control and step. And by control, I just mean like cover the side that he could try to hit me. Don't stress about that detail too much. You'll see me do it a lot, but that's just because it just makes a little bit more sense for the drill, but I don't want you guys to develop bad habits. So if you do it, like, don't make this like, oh, Corey does this, because if you do this at the wrong time, you get hit with the overhand, and that's not good. But for this drill, it's like just a little bit easier to do. Like if you're doing head movement with your hands behind your back, you'd never do that in a real fight, but it helps with that drill. So when Robin's attacking me, I'm staying on the outside of his shoulders, and I'm making it so that when he attacks me or I step at him, I'm always on one of his shoulders trying to get an angle. You'll notice too, guys, as we're doing this, it's extremely hard to stay in one stance and do this effectively. Like I'll try, go ahead. Like it gets weird. Like you definitely can, but it gets super weird here and just doesn't feel free and doesn't feel dynamic. If I'm capable of switching my feet, go ahead, attack or do whatever you would do. Boom, step and swing, bang, being here, shifting, boom, shake stepping, stepping pivots, all of this. And I'm just focused on keeping angles and keeping my head on the outside of Robin's shoulders. You're better off doing that, being able to switch your stance, using your shake steps, boom, and your step and swings, along with just your normal beginner step and swings and side steps. This is really important too. And this is just one of those things that's really hard for me to like help you guys understand on this side of the camera, you know, but if me and Robin are partners, can you stand there maybe? Yeah, right here is good. When I'm talking about staying on the outside of his shoulders, it doesn't need to be gigantic like this. I just want like, okay, cool. I know that I'm a little bit outside his shoulder. He could still hit me with some stuff, but I know kind of what he can hit me with. Like this side is kind of etched out at this point. Over here, like a lot of what can hit me is etched out. If I want to go this direction, I don't want to like leave my head in the middle and start to do stuff. I want to just put it a little bit on the shoulder so I can move myself out. If I shake step, same idea. So at all times, I'm trying to keep my head on the shoulder or on the outside. When he squares up with me, boom, then I just attack the other one or decide to stay on the same one. Super challenging for me to try to communicate that over video, but I hope that that made some sense. Once you got those two drills down, the space and the advantages or the angle drill, you guys can kind of make it a little bit of both, which is super fun for me and essentially how I fight, where I'm trying to still maintain this space, but now I'm just adding in tiny angles as I go. So Robin will just give me some movement I'm trying to keep space, boom, and stay on the outside of his shoulder at the same time. Boom, here. If we do get close, no biggie. I just make myself go on the outside. If he does get too far away, no biggie. I shift, and I'm incorporating space and trying to stay on the outside of his shoulders here. Boom, boom. So that's our intermediate course, guys. Let's get into our advanced one.